And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv. It's tiki time at Harbor Cove Cafe. Dive into the tropical paradise at the end of Spinnaker Drive in Ventura with vibrant drinks, delicious bites, award-winning fish and chips, and more. Now featuring extended hours, a dinner menu, and happy hour, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Visit harborcovecafe.net for more information.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. I'm the one who forgot to pick up John today, and that's why we're late.
I'm here.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you could do before the show starts.
Well, yeah, but I'm sorry.
So anyway, this is the Backseat Mogul Show. I am R. Scott Bolton. That's Johnny D over there.
I was headbanging.
I don't know if that's what you want to call it or not, because it looks like something you're doing at the Y to get help. That's what it looks like.
Got to tell you about that too.
You got a new Y story? Okay, well, we'll get to that. We got things to talk about first, though. First of all, so I don't forget again, what happened? Oh, those things happen. Please visit GoFundMe and check out the fundraiser. Help us finish our adventure comedy film First Run. Here's a barcode so you can do that. First Run is a movie about movie theaters and the shenanigans that go on behind the doors there. Basically, people are trying to get hold of a film that's making the rounds, let's say. It sounds like a completely different synopsis than the one you'll find online, but that one is a better one. Johnny D and I are in the movie. Johnny plays
Old
Man Greg.
A hobo.
And I play Postman Gary, I think his name was. Mailman Gary, I think. But anyway, it was fun shooting the film. It was great watching Jeff work and the cast work. They're really making a good movie. They're doing their very best to make a good movie, and I like what they're doing there. So please scan this barcode. If you're listening to the audio version of this show, just go to GoFundMe and you can either search for "Help Us Finish Our Adventure Comedy Film First Run," which is long, or just search for Jeffrey Genet, Genet, and that'll take you there. So again, well, please help support it, because I want to see us in the big screen. You may not want to, because you see us in the little screen enough, but who knows?
This marks the second movie that you and I have appeared in together.
You mean Searching for Inspiration being the first?
I love that.
And if you want to see Searching for Inspiration, you can go to YouTube and just type Searching for Inspiration Bolton, and you should come up with the one that we did. It was a contest.
Mm-hmm.
We had a weekend to make a movie, and we did it. We made the movie in a weekend. We had to feature certain items. So there's some weird things in there, like when Shane finds a golf ball floating in his soup.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't have been in the movie if it hadn't been for, and it's a short little film. What was it, 11 minutes? Something like that.
No, I think it was a little bit longer.
Maybe a little bit longer, but I wrote it. John's brother directed it, and I also am featured in it as a young lad.
And
I was a young lad when we made that.
Well, that's true.
I mean, anybody under 50 is a young lad to me these days. So.
And I was in it, but I had no dialogue.
No, you were supposed to have a bigger scene, but you were dead, so you couldn't have much of a bigger scene.
And I was sitting there at the in my booth, had my dark sunglasses on, and I never moved.
We should have shot that anyway, and then just cut it out, so that we had it like an extended version, because we cut it out for time, because the films could only be a certain amount of time long. And so we should have shot it anyway and then added it later, but we didn't. So there
Yeah.
is no extended cut of Searching for Inspiration, sadly.
And I can't believe what beat it out. I don't remember what it was.
It was a really
terrible.
funny movie. No, it wasn't terrible at all. It was very, very funny, but it was obviously made by professionals who had everything at their beck and call. We had nothing, but it didn't matter. We did a good movie. We won Telly Awards for it.
Yep, that's true.
So, we did something right there.
And the fact that we shot it in a haunted restaurant.
I met the ghost.
And
this
also,
day, I swear that door was locked. That was weird. I think it was the ghost.
that was Sandy's.
Was it Sandy's?
Yeah, and it's not there anymore. The
No, I
building's
know
there.
it's long gone. Yeah, but
And now I think it's
I think it closed because of our movie. People went,
it could be.
Yeah.
I think it's now last time I went by there, it was a Mexican restaurant.
Oh,
Which,
there's lots of those in Oxnard.
yeah.
A lot of really good ones too.
Yeah. And my understanding is this one is pretty good. I don't know what the name of it is, but whenever I used to go past it when I was working at night, there was a line of people. I guess probably for the entertainment and maybe the food.
Is it Santitos?
I don't know. No, because that's on Cooper Road.
Oh, there we go. So there's Savior's Road. That's going to be really hard to find anything on.
Yeah.
Because there's probably several. Carnitas Mi Rancho, Sentitos Mexican Express.
Nope.
It's not that one because it's the building. That's a strip mall.
Yeah.
What's
Lavera?
Nobody wants us to search for this. We're not going to search for this right now.
Anyway,
we'll look later. But anyway, it was good. Check it out. YouTube, Searching for Inspiration. As everyone knows, this week we lost a true legend.
Yes.
One of the all-time great actors, Gene Hackman, passed away along with his wife and one of their dogs. Interesting.
They're German Shepherd.
They're German Shepherd. And I guess there were two other dogs that weren't
they were on the
harmed,
property,
but they were there. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to get into the mystery and all the conspiracy theories that are going on already. Let the experts figure that out. Okay. Take time and let the experts tell us what really happened there. But we are going to talk about Hackman's career. Now, the first Oscar he won was for The French Connection in 1971. By that point, most people knew who he was from other movies he'd done and a lot of television work that he had done. I didn't realize that he had been in, I went out of my head real quick. He was in Naked City. He was in Route 66. He was in the FBI. That was a movie, actually. That was a movie.
That was the FBI. There was a movie called that?
Apparently,
was that the TV series?
Oh, no, it's the TV series.
Yeah, okay.
I remember the FBI. That was always fun. There was one The Invaders. I did not know he was in The Invaders.
I did not either.
At one point. So that's a lot of stuff. And, there's no way we can go through even half this list without putting people to sleep. But why don't you talk about some of your favorite Gene Hackman movies?
He was in Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes.
That come out in the late 60s or early 70s.
I want to say it was
I can't remember.
I think it was early 70s, wasn't it? I think
one or the other.
I want to think it was 71.
And
67.
A movie he did with Will Smith, Enemy of the State.
You every time we mention Hackman, that movie comes up. You.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. It was very good. The movie he did with there I go. I'm in character again. His performance in Young Frankenstein, the blind old man. Oh my God, that was so fantastic.
I just read a bit about that, and they said that Gene Hackman played tennis, I think, with Gene Wilder. And Gene Wilder was telling him about that part of the movie. And Gene Hackman said, "Do you think Mel would let me play that?" And Mel said, "Oh, absolutely." He says, I gave him the part instantly and I was over the moon. So yeah, Gene Hackman was, and I remember seeing that movie going, is that Gene Hackman? And I was very young when that movie came out. But I knew Gene Hackman then even. So that tells you something. I had seen French Connection at
my goodness,
a drive-in theater with my parents, but I could not remember it. That was the first one he won the Oscar for. There he is as Pappy Pappy, what was Pappy's last name?
uh,
Popeye. It was
yeah.
Popeye.
His last name was Doyle.
Popeye Doyle.
Yeah.
That was it. Yes. I saw it as a child in a drive-in theater, and that's the last time I've seen French Connection. So yesterday I dug out my DVD, unwrapped it because it hadn't been opened yet, believe it or not. And
Is it Blu-ray?
no, I wish it was, because my PS4 updated earlier this month. Nope, last month. It's already March, and it will no longer play DVDs.
Oh,
So I'm trying to fix that. If anybody has an idea how to fix that now, let me know, please. I know that one of the ways is rebuilding the database on the PS4, but I am unable to do that for some reason. It won't take my controller. It won't recognize the PlayStation button. So I don't know what to do. So if you have any ideas, send me an email, roughedgestudios@gmail.com, and I would truly appreciate it, because I know it's got to be fixable. It's just a glitch, obviously.
does that mean you can't play games on it either?
I haven't tried a DVD game.
Oh, okay.
But most of the games are Blu-ray nowadays anyway. So, and Blu-rays play fine, but DVDs don't. They're unrecognized discs. So something happened there in the last update that ticks me off a little bit. I mean, I've got a dozen DVD players around the house. So it's not like a big deal, but I don't have one on the TV. So I couldn't watch French Connection. So instead, I went to something that I wasn't such a big fan of when I first saw it, but now that movie was way better than I remember it being. And that was The Quick and the Dead. And here's Hackman in that movie with his the little gun there. And it's a Western in the old Sergio Leone style.
Right.
Directed by Sam Raimi, one of the great directors. It doesn't work nearly enough, that guy. He's terrific. And it's so visual and so stunning. And Hackman is just pure evil in this movie. He's pure evil, but what do they always say about a villain? You got to have some humanity to him as well, right? So there's Leonardo DiCaprio also in this movie, plays Gene Hackman's son, and they have a gun duel. And the look on Hackman's face after the gun duel is truly heartbreaking. So he brought that humanity to the villain, because the guy's just a hardcore villain, but he brought him back. You look odd for a reason.
I remember seeing that movie. I remember seeing that movie, but I did not realize that DiCaprio's character was Gene Hackman's character's son.
Yes.
I did not realize that.
I just watched it yesterday. And look at this cast of stars in this movie. It's incredible. As I said, Sam Raimi directed it. Simon Moore wrote it. The cast includes Sharon Stone as the star, Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobin Bell, Keith David, Lance Henriksen, Pat Hingle, Gary Sinise. Good Lord, man.
Yeah.
That is a loaded movie. And it was just a blast. It's just fun from beginning to end. I don't know why I didn't like it the first time. And I think it's because for the longest time, bad guys winning. But it also, not only in style, which I think actually may surpass the Sergio Leone films, but in the story even. The story even kind of mimics a little bit of a Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name, who we discovered does have a name, movie, because the way that it flows I'm trying not to give anything away, that something that the characters do actually could have come from a Clint Eastwood movie. So yeah, Quick and the Dead I ended up watching that yesterday instead. What else did you get?
I read a book several years back, probably 100 years back. It's called Bat 21. And it's a Vietnam War story. Well, they made a movie out of it. And Gene Hackman plays the part of this officer. I can't remember if he's like a colonel, a major or a colonel, whose plane goes down. And it's about him trying to get to an area where a helicopter can rescue him. And basically the way they did it was they played golf. And, because the way he was doing it, his character was an avid golfer and he played many golf courses. Well, way he was talking with the pilot of the helicopter who was trying to locate him, who also played golf apparently. And he says, so as not to give anything away to the enemy, if they were listening in,
right,
he would map out his, the way he was going is it the way it was on certain golf courses. And man, it was real good.
I have to see that. I have not seen Bat 21, and I'll have to see that.
And I'm thinking that the pilot of the helicopter was he just recently died. He was with
the stars were Danny Glover, Jerry Reed. Was it Jerry Reed?
Yes. And I can't remember what Danny Glover's character.
Captain Bartholomew Clark. I remember that vividly. Or I'm reading it from the screen, one or the other. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that. I'll have to see that. Here's another thing about physical media, folks, and I'll tell you this from experience. I tried to find French Connection on a streaming network, right? And I've got them all. I mean, I literally have every major streaming network. Tubi is always the place you go when there's something that, you can't find elsewhere. You can go to Tubi. You got to watch it through the commercials. And French Connection, I think, has an hour and 50-minute running time, but the running time on Tubi is 2 hours and 20 minutes. So they're adding commercials in there, obviously. And that's okay if you can do it, but I didn't want to see it that way. The only place I could find French Connection, a Best Picture winner, by the way, was on various streaming networks for sale. One of them was selling it for $14.99. Now, I had the DVD. I just couldn't play it because it's a stupid PS4. But see, that's why I don't get people to buy your physical media, and you got to buy it quick because it's going away. So unless people start buying a lot more, physical media is going bye-bye, and that's going to be a big loss for everybody. Because again, if you can't find the movie you want to watch, you got to pay for it to watch it. And, and then people are going, well, the DVD's $14.99 or $20.99. Yeah, but I got it forever. As long as I have a DVD player.
There was another Gene Hackman movie, Crimson Tide.
Yeah, another good one.
Oh, submarine movie. Man, Denzel Washington played his executive officer.
Denzel was great in that,
and
too.
Gene Hackman obviously was the skipper, the captain of the boat.
Yeah.
Because that's what they call a submarine.
That's right.
They don't call it a ship, they call it a boat.
That's right.
And that was a riveting. That was really good. Who was he? Who played the commanding officer in the movie Taps? Now that I think about it, I don't think it was Gene Hackman.
You got me thinking, though. George C. Scott.
Yeah, that was a great movie too.
George C. Scott, another true legend. The second Oscar that Gene Hackman won was for The Unforgiven, the Clint Eastwood Western. There's a picture of him from that if you're watching the video version of this show. Hackman played a villain again in this one, but he was very different than the villain that he played in the movie I was just talking about.
Quick and the Dead.
Quick and the Dead. Thank you. He's still the worst possible villain you can have. But in Unforgiven, he's not such a megalomaniac. In Quick and the Dead, he was this guy who owned the whole town and wanted everybody to know the whole town. In this one, he was a sheriff who thought he was doing a good thing by being hard on outlaws. And he wasn't necessarily doing a good thing at all. And the beauty of Unforgiven, I've always thought, is there's no good guys in that movie.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a certain point of bad guy to them. Even the hero, Clint Eastwood, his character starts out and you think he's got this pure history and past, but it's not pure at all. It's actually rather violent.
Could he be called an anti-hero?
I don't know, not at all. That's not an anti-hero would be like Deadpool. So yeah, but yeah, he's just a villain. He's just a villain. And Hackman had this knack of whenever he gave a line, you felt it was real. It wasn't like he was reading from a script or anything else. You felt it was real. And I was reading an interview with Dan Aykroyd about Gene Hackman. They worked on a movie called Loose Cannons, which Dan Aykroyd himself said a low-grade D movie. But I have to see it again now, obviously.
Yeah.
But he said that Gene Hackman told him that there are only 4 directions he'll take from a director, and that's faster, slower, louder, quieter. Says anything else he wouldn't listen to. And if you're directing Gene Hackman, I can see let Gene Hackman do what Gene Hackman wants to do because he knows the business like nobody else's. So yeah, I'm telling you folks, go to the Internet Movie Database, search for Gene Hackman, look at the movies in that list. There are a few duds. There's no
Mhm.
question. There always are, but there's many, many more that are not only good films, but they're classics. The Conversation comes to mind. Have you ever seen The Conversation?
I don't remember that one.
Francis Ford Coppola. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's about a guy who's convinced somebody's listening in on him.
Mhm.
And I'll just leave it at that. But it's a fascinating movie. I wish that Ventura College still had their film class no, they haven't had it for years. It wasn't a film class like making movies. It was a cinema class where you learned from cinema. And I saw so many movies. I went 2 seasons, 2 semesters, and I saw movies that I never would have seen elsewhere that really told me things. And that happened to be one of them, The Conversation.
Well, who do we know in this room that could teach that class? Not me.
I wouldn't teach that class.
Yeah, but look at all the movies you get to watch.
I know that's true, but I'm not
Popcorn machine.
I'm knowledgeable about movies, but I'm not
Mhm.
in depth about movies like some people are. Like, I wish I could remember the teacher's name because she was amazing. She showed us things that, we had a whole example of art films that told the story with visuals. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it right now. And we were watching the film she was showing, just laughing because they were so over the top. And when the lights came back on, she said, yeah, I know they're funny because they are so over the top, but you can see the meaning behind the images that were. She was terrific, but of course that's not part of the curriculum anymore.
And yes, we talked about Young Frankenstein. Would you say that his character was a comedic character?
No, he played, his part was straight.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Boyle's part was what made the laughs happen in that. So, but I mean, Gene Hackman could do comedy.
And he did ad-lib his last line.
What was that line again? I read that somewhere.
Something about I made espresso or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Come back soon. I made something. Yeah, that was, Hackman wanted that role badly. And I'm so glad that of all the stuff they cut out of Young Frankenstein, because remember, when they finished the first cut, it was over 4 hours long, or nearly 4 hours long. I'm glad that made the cut, but it's Hackman, so of course it did.
And he was Lex Luthor.
I was going to say, you cannot mention Gene Hackman without mentioning Luke's Luthor, because even the guys who are playing Lex Luthor today say, yeah, Gene was Lex Luthor. And that's a perfect example of a comedic role, because he did play that with some comedy, with some over the topness. He knew how to play a comic book character as opposed to a real character, a comic book villain as opposed to a real villain. And if you watch the Superman movies, you get that 100%.
And the movie he made with Robin Williams, something Cage.
Birdcage. Brilliant movie, and brilliant performances by both of them, and Nathan Lane.
Oh yeah. And oh God, he does one of the voices on The Simpsons. I can't think of his name.
Hank Azaria.
Yeah, I think wasn't he in it?
I don't. Oh yes, he was in the Birdcage. Sure. Yeah.
His character was so hilarious.
They're all great movies. Anything that Hackman is in, I didn't realize that he retired back in like 2005.
I think wasn't the Royal Tannenbaums. Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to pull it up right now, but let's see. Because I saw what his last movie was, and I don't think I've ever seen it either. Let's take a look here real quick and see what his last movie was. His last movie was Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't he like an ex-president, and he was running for mayor or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's
another comedy.
Donald Petrie film. Donald Petrie was a hell of a director too. Yeah. Oh, and Ray Romano was in that as well. Yeah. Again, we're not going to miss Hackman for future performances because he's been retired for 20 some odd years. But we're going to miss him for all the past performances, which we've got saved forever, especially if you have physical media on the screen, because he's one of the guys who not only defined Hollywood movie star, but defined actor as well.
And if you can't find it streaming, or you don't have a copy of it, check your local library.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's probably where you're going to get most of your physical media in the future. I was surprised when I was searching to find something to watch instead of French Connection, because PS4.
I'm surprised you don't have a 5.
I'm married.
I'm not surprised you don't
Yeah.
have a.
That's a good. Can I get a new PS5? No. Okay. I was surprised how few Hackman movies were available on the streaming services.
Mhm.
There were not very many, and I thought that was kind of sad. But they're out there. You can buy many, many of them, of course. But I didn't want to buy them. I pay for these streaming services for a reason. So, and I could have dug through my collection because I'm sure I have many Gene Hackman movies in my collection. Behind Enemy Lines, I know I've got there. But
That was great.
I don't have time to. I got 1,500 Blu-rays and DVDs. I don't have time to go through all those. So I just sat down and watched Quick and the Dead. And I was glad that I did because I liked it much more.
Well, last week we went online here to find, was it French Connection? And didn't we find it on Tubi?
It is on Tubi, but it's like I said, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
I couldn't find it.
Oh, really?
I downloaded Tubi, not only to my phone, but I also, excuse me, put it on my tablet, and I could not find it.
It's there. Were you spelling French right? It's F-R-E.
Oh, I put the Frog Connection. Hey, come on, that's a joke.
I didn't log on to Tubi and look at it, so maybe it's not on there anymore. But according to what our search said it was, and according to the search I did yesterday. But again, I just didn't want to spend 2 hours and 20 minutes watching a movie that's an hour and 50 minutes long.
Right.
So, and I'm getting to the point now that I don't mind the commercials on Tubi so much because first of all, they get the timer in the corner, so you know how long you got. Secondly, they always go back just a hair and start the movie after the commercial, so you know you haven't missed anything. And they don't edit it. They don't cut the swear words out and all that stuff. That's drives me crazy.
There's I can't remember if it was Freevee that also did that. Somebody told me
Freevee did that. Freevee's not around anymore.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Well, then how come I can get on it?
Because it's on Amazon. It's owned by Amazon. Everything's running through Amazon now.
Oh, no. Well, that's why. And Freevee used to be IMDb TV.
Yes, that's true. But now it's been absorbed by Amazon. So if you're looking at Freevee, it's probably just piping you through to Amazon because Freevee did go away. It's sad but true. Yeah. Skype's going away. I don't know if folks knew this. Has nothing to do with the showbiz.
What's going away?
Skype is going away.
It's not what I thought you said.
I'm not even going to ask. Another big loss this week, and I just found out about this one late last night. Joseph Wambaugh has passed away. He was 88 years old. He was the ultimate police writer.
Oh, yeah.
His books were the best representation of what real life as a cop is like. And he managed to take these bizarre incidents and create entertaining novels out of them. It was amazing what the man did. He spent so much time as a cop and with the cops that you knew that the things he was telling you were true. Now, did they happen where they happened? Probably not, because he doesn't want to get people in trouble and that kind of thing. But he was the definitive police writer. The closest I can think following him now would probably be Karen Slaughter, who does the Will Trent novels. But even those aren't as pinpointed as the Wambaugh novels were.
Who wrote the book, not the song, Helter Skelter?
That was a lawyer.
It wasn't.
No, Wambaugh wrote Choir Boys. He wrote The Onion Field, which was considered one of his classics. And he also wrote this book here, Fire Lover, A True Story, which I just read within the last couple of years. And it is absolutely riveting. You see, it says a true story there. Well, it's a story of arsons that are happening throughout Southern California. And he tracks them down to a certain fire inspector who just happens to always be in the area when these are there. And they start putting the screws to him to see if it's actually him that's doing it or if somebody else is just a coincidence. That book will give you shivers. It will also, it just grabs your attention from page 1 all the way to the very end. It is absolutely brilliant. I always look forward to Wambaugh. He's got a new series out called the Hollywood series that I'm slowly making my way through. Don't know where he was, if he was writing anything new, but he's been publishing for many, many years. And recently too. But he was a true legend. And Joseph Wambaugh was just one of a kind. I don't think there's anybody better than what he did. I tried to option one of his books once for the movies, and they kind of just laughed in my face. So,
well, at least you got a reaction.
I did. Oh yeah, I got a reaction.
You mentioned the Onion Field.
Yes.
Was it Onion Field Murders?
Onion Field.
Because that was based on a true story.
That's what it's based on.
Yeah.
But it's not the Onion Field Murders.
Yeah. It's the story was about.
That's the Onion Field.
Yeah.
Where's murders?
Well, no.
It's not murders.
I thought that's what you said.
No,
no.
It's Onion Field.
Yeah, because that was a movie about, I think it was 2 LA police officers that were kidnapped and took them up to Modesto area, I want to say, where they were murdered.
Yes, that was the movie version of it. Starred John Savage, James Woods, and it was also a very good movie. What's the rating? Not as good as I remember. But Wambaugh and Eric Roth wrote the screenplay. Yeah, and it's good. It's the reason the movies like that don't get higher ratings, I think sometimes, is because they're grim. And the Onion Field is very, very grim. Yeah. But it was a great book and a pretty good movie, as I recall. So been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm gonna miss Wambaugh. I read at least 1 or 2 Wambaugh books a year, and I thank goodness I got more to read. So I still got several of the Hollywood series to read as well.
Speaking of books and Amazon,
don't put me in the same, not in the same phase as a Wambaugh at all.
Okay,
go ahead.
We'll do it a little bit later.
No, you can do it now.
Okay.
But I just want everybody to know that I ain't no Joseph Wambaugh.
I like your books.
I'm glad, but
Scotty
not as good as
is
his.
an author, and if you go to Amazon.com, type in his name, R. Scott Bolton, Bolton, like the singer.
His real name is Bolton. My real name is Bolton.
I was going to say no relation.
No, okay. But people were able to start spelling our names after he got popular. It's true.
Anyway, type in Scotty's name and bunch of books are going to come up. I want so much to say.
You can go to
you
can go to rscottbolton.com, or you can find me on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and search for R. Scott Bolton.
And the latest that is available right now is, I started to say the one that you're working on now is, don't tell me. Tell me. Death in the Mogul.
That's it. Which is the 3rd Brace Heller detective novel.
Now, my favorite of all Scotty's books is Dead Dick, which is about a 40s private investigator who dies back in the 40s. Doesn't go to hell, doesn't go to heaven.
Goes to the betwixt.
Because it's betwixt.
That's right.
And
then he gets an assignment.
Yeah. So it's real. It's I would say for me, it was riveting.
I hope so.
And it's one of these things like when you read the last word, turn the last page, close the book, you go, I want more.
I just watched the movie Conclave, and for a while I thought it was going to go the way that Dead Dick ends. I was going to be very disappointed but it doesn't. So, by the way, see Conclave, very, very good movie, very, very serious and dramatic. Did I talk about the monkey last week? Or I hadn't seen it yet, had I?
I don't think so.
I saw.
No, you haven't.
So
you saw it on Monday.
I did see the monkey this week. It's from Osgood Perkins, who is Tony Perkins' son. Here's an interesting fact about Osgood and Tony. They both played Norman Bates. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I knew. Did he play?
They both played Norman Bates.
Yeah. Did Norman Bates, the one that he played, was that in the
Osgood?
TV series?
No.
Okay.
He played him as a child. I think it was in Psycho 2.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't realize that until recently. It's based on a short story by Stephen King, and it's a story of a toy. I'm sure you've seen the toy it's a little monkey who plays the drums when you wind it up.
Wait. I'm sorry. I thought for some reason I thought you were going to start talking about Psycho.
No, or the monkey. Psycho just had part of its history.
And then I heard you doing that part. And I'm going, wait, what? I don't remember that in the movie.
No, this is in the monkey. And the thing is, you don't want to wind the monkey up, and you don't want it to play the drums, because when it does, somebody dies, and they die in a violent Final Destination kind of way. This movie is so over the top. I'm going to use a swear word here, so brace yourselves, folks. Stephen King, his review of the movie was, it's batshit crazy. And it is the best review that you can give that movie because it is. It's just nuts. Theo James plays a dual role in the movie. He's very good in both roles. The gore is off the charts. It's just utterly ridiculous. I was laughing my head off in that theater, and laughing my head off is a good way to put it because there are more decapitations in this movie than I've ever seen in a movie before.
Whoa.
It's just crazy, but it's so much fun. And I just heartily recommend you go check out The Monkey, because if you're a horror fan, if you're not a horror fan, this movie is going to be so far out of your park, it's not even going to be funny. But if you're a horror fan, you will love the Monkey. Theo James plays, I don't want to say a good character and a bad character, but there are elements of those in the characters that he plays, and he pulls it off enough that you know that they're different people. You know, it's pretty impressive. And Tatiana Maslany is also in it, and I love her as well. So anyway, The Monkey is now in theaters, so go check it out. You'll be glad you did. $10 million to make, and I think it's grossed. You know what? Let's find out what the gross is as of today, because I'm sure that it's going to make its money back pretty handily. That's the beauty of making cheap horror films. Yeah, it's at $25 million already. So it's already more than doubled its gross. And it's only second week. So
Sequel.
He's already got his next movie lined up. Osgood Perkins does. He got some star status with Longlegs, deservedly so, and then made this movie in kind of element. I think this movie's more fluid than Longlegs was, but it still gives him another lift, and more power to him. Here's the thing. Horror movies are going to be one of the things that help theaters survive, because people go to horror movies. And here's the evidence: $25 million in 2 weeks. Not big by any, I mean, they made that in the first hour of Captain America, but for a $10 million movie, already be in the bread, that's awesome.
Now you mentioned
Black,
Osgood
right?
Perkins.
Is black good or red good?
Wait, what?
When your success is
Red is, if you're in the red, you're in trouble.
okay, it's black then. So he's in the black. Anyway, go ahead. Osgood Perkins.
You mentioned that he's the son of
Anthony Perkins.
Anthony Perkins. My favorite movie that he was in, Fear Strikes Out.
I haven't seen that. I know it's a baseball movie.
Yeah, and it's based on true story.
Yeah, and what happens? Someone throws a pitch and he stabs the pitch to death before it gets to home plate, right?
Yeah.
That's not it?
Now I'm picturing him stabbing a ball.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Stabbing the baseball as it's coming towards.
No, it was a guy who he loses it.
The ball?
No. I highly recommend Fear Strikes Out.
I'll find it.
I believe it's a black and white movie.
It is.
And it was, for its time, it was really something.
Says it's on YouTube for $3.79, but it's one of those movies that you wish you had a copy for, because
it's on Pluto.
You can watch it free on Pluto,
but you got commercials.
You got commercials. And everywhere else is like $3.99.
I just might have to watch that again.
Tony Perkins was great. He was really great. Notice that all the artwork is in color.
Yeah.
Even though the movie's in black and white. Carl Malden was in that?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Very good. All right. What else we got going on here this week?
He played Tony Perkins played a villain in a, is it called Folks? Faulks?
Folk. Yeah, it was Ffolkes.
Yeah.
Yes. With Roger Moore.
Yes. And
which they renamed North Sea Hijack, which may be a better name.
Yeah, because, when you say Folks, it's like, what?
There's a Roger. Yeah. So it's Folks was from 1980, and it was directed by Andrew V. McLaughlin. What else did he do? Tombstone.
He did at least one John Wayne movie.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But I can't remember which one it was.
We're not going to look for now. Wild Geese, he's famous for. Hellfighters is the one you're thinking of. Undefeated and Fool's Paradise. Great.
Undefeated was a John Wayne.
That was about the guy who lost his lower legs in an accident.
No.
Undefeated. Terrible. Okay. So what else we got going on here? Real quick, don't forget, please donate some money to our friend Jeff Genet at GoFundMe.com. Again, it's go to GoFundMe.com and search for Jeff Genet, Genet, maybe Jeffrey, could be Jeffrey. Or you can Google the big word. You could Google the big word. I did. Help us finish our adventure comedy film first run. And that should take you to the thing. And then it's time for this. Is it as bad as they say it was? We'll find out now on the Backseat Mogul Show. All right. So did we talk about Mordecai?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Mordecai is a movie that stars Johnny Depp. And this movie got tore a new one, folks. I cannot tell you how bad this movie got tore up. And I can't even find a listing for it here. It's about a very rich man played by Johnny Depp, who's got a very bizarre accent, very bizarre look, very bizarre job, if you could even call it a job. Hold on, I'm trying to find it so I can give you some more information about it. The cast was pretty impressive. There it is, 2015 film, Mordecai. The cast was Johnny Depp, Paul Bettany, who I almost didn't recognize in this movie, Gwyneth Paltrow, Ewan McGregor, Jeff Goldblum, Olivia Munn, and more and more and more. Now, Rotten Tomatoes has got a 12% rating.
Ooh.
And let's see what some of those reviews tell us about Mordecai. You can see, if you search for it, folks, you can see Johnny Depp with his hair slicked back and the mustache. The mustache is a very, very important part of the movie Mordecai.
And it's brown hair.
Yes. 12% on Rotten Tomatoes, with 31% of the viewing public reviewing it and giving reviews. This is what some of the reviews say. The critics' consensus was it's aggressively strange and willfully unfunny. The misguided Mordecai sounds a frightfully low note in Johnny Depp's post-Pirates filmography. It is a weird movie. There's no two ways about it. It is very, very weird. It feels like a Peter Sellers movie on drugs, if you can imagine. It's got the bizarre Johnny Depp character. It's got Gwyneth Paltrow's character, who plays his wife, who can't stand his mustache. She won't even kiss him until he cuts that mustache off. It takes place in the art world, so there's stolen paintings and that kind of thing going on. I got to tell you, I watched it thinking, again, it's not great. It's bizarre. It's weird. It's strange. It's dumb. But 12%? That's, what am I missing? So here's some more critics' reviews. Brian Eckert of the Deep Focus Review said, this madcap caper exists only to provide an excuse for the movie's crude zaniness and ungratingly repetitive gags. Apparently he did not like the jokes about the mustache that start and go all the way through the entire movie.
He probably has the mustache himself.
Yeah. Capers, Richard Krause said, Capers flicks, this is a weird phrase, Capers flicks of a bygone era had a swing and hip feel of the controlled chaos, not overplayed farce. But Depp is pedal to the metal, quirking it up in a display completely without charm and worse, without wit. Again, I don't agree. I thought that Johnny Depp's character was exactly what it needed to be for Mordecai.
Well, you know what a movie is about before you get to it, before you go see it. So would you say what was advertised, what you read about it, you knew what you were going to watch?
I didn't, actually, because it's been so long since it's been released, and I just watched it last year, maybe even this year, as a matter of fact.
I'm going to have to watch it. So
I wish you would and see what you think about it, because I don't think it's nearly as bad as 12%. I would give it, I'd give it a 45 or 50. So still not great, but much better than 12%. I don't know. Maybe I went in knowing that it was 12%, which I did, and didn't expect as much. Maybe, it's just a big, silly movie. And what's wrong with big, silly movies?
Yeah.
I have no issue with that. So there's nothing offensive about it, unless you have a mustache and they're ragging on your mustache all the way through.
You and I have mustaches.
Thanks, John. That was very helpful.
See, folks.
Yeah.
There's two Johnny Depp movies that come to mind. Nothing about mustaches. And I want to say they were both black and white. No, actually three. The first one I'm going to say was color, and that was Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
No, I think he had one or two words towards the end.
He was great in that.
Oh my!
That's a great
goodness.
Tim Burton movie. So of course, yeah.
Another Tim Burton movie he did where he plays a barber. Hair ain't the only thing he's cutting, and that was.
I was waiting for you to get to the title because there's no way you're going to remember it.
I can't.
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
I love Sweeney Todd.
Oh yeah,
that's one of those movies I don't have on Blu-ray and I need to get. I love that movie.
And then the other one, which I believe also was black and white.
Sweeney Todd wasn't black and white.
It wasn't. I thought it was.
I don't think so. I think it was just,
maybe just looked grim.
It was grayed out because it was supposed to be.
Oh, okay, okay.
86% on Rotten Tomatoes and 81% on the people's reading, the viewers reading. And by the way, Alan Rickman was in that movie too.
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember him in that.
Call Me a Liar?
No. Okay.
I just want to know. Yeah. And what's the other one? Third one?
I got to pull it up because the title is escaping me. It's a period piece, takes place back in the Elizabethan.
The
you know the one I'm talking about.
Yes.
I can't think of the name. The Libertine.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. And that was released in 2004.
Also not black and white.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you had your eyes checked recently, John?
Where'd you go?
Maybe you're losing color.
I hear you, but I can't see
that's
you.
what I'm saying.
And not to mention his Captain Jack Sparrow character.
Well, that's
really
his biggest role ever.
And
right.
I can't see anybody replacing him in that role.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, okay, maybe.
All right, quickly, we're going to go through the Oscar nominations because the Oscars are on Sunday, but because John and I got so screwed up today, because I was supposed to pick them up and I forgot. We're just going to go through them rather quickly here. The nominees for Best Picture are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Any thoughts on what you think will win Best Picture?
Of that list,
well, that's the only ones on the list that can win Best Picture.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, I've only seen 1, 2, 3, and that is The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, and Dune Part 2. I can't see Dune Part 2 on that list because Part 1 was
Dune Part 2 should win. It won't, but it should win because it was by far the best picture in my opinion of this. I've seen 6 of the 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would give it to Dune Part 2. It's not going to happen. It doesn't have a chance.
It's probably going to go to either, and what I'm thinking, it's probably going to go to either The Brutalist or possibly Anora. And isn't Anora a subtitled movie?
No.
Oh,
no. I did see Anora, and it is not subtitled.
Well, which is the one that's got?
I think you're thinking Amelia Perez.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Anora is. I liked Anora a lot. It's got one of the best performances of the year in its lead. But my issue with it was that the story. How do I put this? The story is. It's a fresh take on an old story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this girl falls in love with a Russian. A stripper falls in love with this Russian guy.
Yeah.
And they spend this time together, and the parents don't want her. They end up getting married, and the parents don't want them to get married. It's like, okay, it's the same story again, but it does have a fresh take on it, and it's got amazing performances all the way through. So, and by the way, I think right now Honora is the favorite to win, with The Brutalist in second place. Or I'm sorry, Conclave is actually in second place. But I think that Honora will probably win based on what I've read. I would still give it to Dune Part 2. Sequels can get Best Picture awards. Godfather 2 did. So
I would really like to see A Complete Unknown get it. I really enjoyed that movie.
That one, oh yeah, I was very good.
And oh God,
Timothée Chalamet. You got to make it rhyme. Timothée Chalamet.
He was like There's no English accent from him at all.
We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're at Best Actress right now.
Okay.
Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, that's the one I was talking about earlier, who's so good, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here.
I would really like to see Demi Moore get it. I've only seen a couple snippets.
You won't like The Substance, I can tell you that right now, because it's by far the goriest movie of last year.
That something totally out of what she has done in the past. Maybe the closest thing would have been the one where she wants to be a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, you haven't seen the movie, so it's actually very close to what she does. It fits the character she's played in the past, but she does something more with it because there's more to do here, because this movie it pulls no punches. So you get that. There's a certain bravery in taking the role and doing what she did with it that gets her credit. And once you see it, you'll see that, it is kind of, because she plays like a Jane Fonda character, somebody who was big in movies, then kind of fell out of the movies, and then started an exercise company like Jazzercise, like Jane Fonda. And it follows that. And you can see Demi Moore in that position in her place today. But what she does with that is pretty impressive. I think she will win. She's won virtually all the other awards, even though a big one recently went to Mikey Madison. So Mikey Madison could be the spoiler for Demi Moore this year, but we'll have to wait and see.
Did you want me to write down? I just wrote down Oscar time.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's all we need. That's on show notes, folks. Best actor, we have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice.
Well, Adrian Brody was fantastic in that movie.
He was the best part of that movie by far.
Timothée
Chalamet.
He was fantastic.
Until I saw The Brutalist, I thought this was Timothée's year, but Adrian owns The Brutalist.
You know, the only thing I can think that might hurt him is the fact that that movie was so long.
I don't know if that hurt him at all. I think what might hurt him is his comments about AI. At one point, he said that he used AI to help him develop his accent, and people got up in arms about it. And he came back and said, wait, I didn't, nobody lost the job because I did that. It's just something, and people are, especially artists. I'm not sure about AI. I think AI could probably cure cancer if we gave it the time, but I also know that, I'm looking at Led Zeppelin songs that never existed on YouTube. I don't like it. But I would say that I think Adrian's going to win it. There is a chance that they say that Sebastian Stan may win for The Apprentice. So we'll see how that comes through. But at this point, Adrian Brody's won so many of the awards, and he's got the buzz and plus he's so good. Adrian Brody is good in every single thing he does. Let's reward him again. I think it's time. So
if it does go to Sebastian
Stan,
thank you. I had an air bubble coming up.
Swell.
Yeah. If he does win it, I hope it's because of his performance and not because of, in Hollywood, there's probably more anti-Trump people than there is pro-Trump people.
I would agree with you. I hope that he wins because of his effort. But at the same time, I understand the anti-Trump people very much. So but anything you can do to make that man look bad is more power to them. So, but I don't want him to win for that. I don't. And by the way, he's doing a good enough job of making himself look bad, so they don't need Hollywood's help.
So, actress.
Best supporting actress, we have Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. This is probably one of the few awards that's kind of locked.
I would like to see Monica Barbaro.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
She was truly amazing. Yeah. And did all her own singing, as I recall, as well. So she played Joan Baez, right? Yes. Zoe Saldana is going to win this award. She's won, I think, every single award out there is to win it. And I would bet that she's going to win the Oscar for supporting actress.
Have you seen this movie?
Have not.
I was going to try and watch it. Well, what I mean by that, some of the snippets that teasers.
Yeah.
And it's a foreign language film, and the subtitles were in a foreign language.
Well, you can change that.
And now, isn't that movie also?
It's on Netflix right now. I may watch that tonight, just so I'll be ready for the Oscars tomorrow.
Isn't that also one of the movies that's for Best Picture?
It is. Yes.
Okay. Shouldn't that be Best Foreign Film as opposed to?
Foreign films are eligible for Best Picture. They have to be. Why wouldn't they be?
Well, I never knew they were in the past.
Oh, they always have been. Always have been. They've won a couple of times. So yeah, they're always eligible.
Isn't there also a category?
There is
for
foreign language film.
Yeah,
there is. But foreign language films are still eligible for Best Picture, as they should be, because just because a movie's in Spanish, if it's better than this movie, it should be included, right? It should be.
So, what do you think's going to get? You think Zoe Saldana?
Zoe Saldana. I think she's the only real lock here. So
everything I've seen her in, yes. And I have not watched The Lioness.
I hear such good things about that, and I haven't watched it either.
And I've seen previews of it, not snippets, but trailers. And wow, she is such a strong character.
Yeah,
actress.
She is, and I'm really looking forward to The Lioness. I gotta sit down and watch that. Best Supporting Actor, we have Yura Borazov for Honora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice.
I think it's going to, in my opinion, I think it's going to be between Edward Norton and Guy Pearce, and I'm hope Edward Norton gets it. Again, he became that guy.
Oh, he was amazing in A Complete Unknown. It took me a second to wait, is that Ed Norton? Because he was so different than what you normally see him in. And plus, he plays that character so layered, because he's this happy kind of, I don't want to say religious, but that kind of man, But when you take him off.
It's probably because he was smoking.
That's probably true. That mellowed him out. That's a good point. I think Kieran Culkin is probably going to win that award. He's won a lot of the other awards as well. Plus, he's getting off the success of Succession. So I think he's probably going to win that award, and he's probably very good in that as well.
Well, everything that I've seen Edward Norton in, he's ruled it. That movie he did with Marlon Brando and Robert De Niro, where they're going to make a heist, they were going to rob.
Oh, Ed Norton, you're talking about. I was thinking.
I'm sorry, my bad. I can't remember what the name of that movie was, but
I think it was The Heist, if I'm not mistaken.
His character, he's playing like a character who has a not cerebral palsy or something like
that. Yeah.
And all throughout this movie, but what you see towards the end of the movie is like, whoa. And the way he played that character, that character was fantastic. And like I said, everything I've seen him do, I really, really.
Oh yeah, Ed Norton's amazing. He's one of those guys you go to the movies for because he's in it.
Even his turn as the Hulk.
Yeah, agreed. Too bad that he didn't keep that role, but can't argue with Mark Ruffalo.
And was it American X?
Yes. Oh, brutal movie.
Yeah. The thing is, I never saw it because I knew it was so very brutal. But yeah, I need to go watch that.
Sometimes you have to subject yourself to that stuff. And that's probably one of those examples.
Fight Club.
Oh, yeah. Fight Club. Amazing. Best Director. This is the last category we'll do. We have Sean Baker for Honora. We have Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez. And Coralie Farge for The Substance.
I don't know.
Typically, director and picture go hand in hand. Typically, but not always. It's happened more recently than before, I believe. I think that Brady Corbett will win for The Brutalist because he got $10 million to make a movie that looks like it cost $150 million. And he did the work he did with his actors. I mean, look at Guy Pearce, look at Adrian
Mhm.
Brody. He created true blue characters all the way through. Guy Pearce. Did I say Guy Pearce? I did.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you didn't, you just did.
I just did. It's an impressive directorial achievement. Was I a big fan of the movie? Not really, but I can certainly admire his achievement anyway.
Do you think it was too long?
I think it needed to be that long to tell its story, but I just wish that the first half had been as good as if the second half had been as good as the first half.
Yeah, this movie does
Because
have an intermission.
It takes a twist, and you're supposed to realize that's part of the thing that started making the guy's life go to hell, but he'd already on the path to going to hell anyway.
Mhm.
So I had a little trouble with that part of the movie. That all being said, I cannot fault Brady Corbett for direction, because the direction was stunning.
Mhm.
Brutalist is a style of architecture, and if you watch this movie, it has its own style of architecture, and I think that was intentional. I think it was done that way.
So
I mean, how many movies have you seen where the and this is such a simple thing, folks, where the credits slide across the screen diagonally?
I've never seen it that way.
Exactly. He's given that movie the style that a brutalist building might have, and I think that was his intention. But it's a grim movie. It leaves too many questions unanswered, and the second half is not as interesting as the first half, and that hurts when you've been sitting on your butt for 3.5 hours.
So with that being said, who do you want to get it?
I would like to see Coralie Farge get it for The Substance, because nobody's taken a horror movie, and especially we know that, and even though there's arguments, and we're not going to get into that, not very many horror movies win Best Picture. Silence of the Lambs is one of the few, if it's not the only one. The Substance is a horror movie that's on a whole nother level, and not only in its style and its art and its effects, but in its acting and its writing and its cinematography. It's all just elevated to the part that when you're watching it for the first part, you think this is a very well-made A movie. It's still an A movie when it's done. It's just that your screen's all covered with blood and guts. So, yeah, I would like to see her win. I don't think she will, by the way. I think Brady Corbett will win this one, but that's what I'd like to see win. So,
more than likely, I think you're right about it being Brady Corbett, but I would really like to see, go back to that, please.
It's gone. James Mangold for Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
James Mangold, what was his last picture?
The Complete Unknown.
Little movie called Indiana Jones in the Dial of Destiny.
You know, I haven't seen that one yet.
I really liked it. People didn't like it. I don't care.
I want to
really
see
did.
it.
I really did.
And I just never got around to going to see it.
Well, start getting around more.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. All right, folks. That's it. We went a little long today because we wanted to cover some of those things, and plus I was late. I know. It's just what happens.
Yeah, and he didn't pick me up.
No, I didn't, and I feel bad about that. And I was thinking, oh, great. The one day John's picking us up to take us a ride to a party, I forget to pick him up. But here's the difference: I'm paying him, so he can't. I was just doing a favor. He's getting paid.
I'm getting paid?
Yes, of course you're getting paid. We agreed on it. Here's your payment right here.
Oh,
2 Pop-Tarts. It's 2 Pop-Tarts.
That's okay. I've got change for you.
Oh, that's perfect. Good. Maybe. Here's one more thing here quickly. Harbor Cove Cafe, as you know, they're our friends and sponsors here. They are now open for happy hour 2 to 4. So they have their regular breakfast, their regular lunch, and then happy hour 2 to 4 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I will tell you, you need to go down there and try some of their stuff, because Johnny, we went down there for a tasting, and he brought up these donuts, these big glazed, but they weren't glazed, but big cake donuts. Anyway, they weren't donuts. They were onion rings. And it was best damn onion ring I ever had in my life. It was pretty amazing. So Harbor Cove Cafe. And of course, as always, go visit our friends at the Grape, and we'll see you next week, folks.
Hey, just go visit. Please go to your local mom and pop theaters. They're going by the wayside. They need people to come in and fill the seats.
Yes. And the studios need you there as well. If you want to keep seeing the movies that you love, you got to go to the movies and see them.
Yeah. And there are certain movies that must be seen on the big screen, because it just gives it a whole different effect.
Captain America would have been even better on IMAX. It would have
Oh
been.
yeah. I saw the Vietnam one that
Apocalypse Now.
no, well, yeah, that was good, but that's not the one I was thinking of.
Oh.
It was the one that had
Platoon.
no, it's another one about
Platoon 2.
No, there's Platoon 2.
I hope not. There is a French connection to it. Did you know that?
Yeah, but I don't think I may have seen it. I don't.
That one you can
remember.
find on streaming. That one's on streaming, but not French Connection one.
But getting back to what I was saying,
If, I'm trying to give you some space so you can actually think of what you're talking about.
I'm trying to think. I can see the words, but it's not coming
You
out.
can't read them.
Yeah, that's it. It's so blurry. Like you're blurry to me right now.
Yeah.
So had Ermy was the drill sergeant.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket. That is a movie, if you want that effect, where you're going to walk out of the theater like, wow.
You know what? I would disagree with you on that because Kubrick always shot his movies in the 4:3 format.
Mhm.
I didn't realize this. He never shot them bigger. So they're always square. Almost square. Okay.
That was,
I would say see Saving Private Ryan on the big screen. That'd be one that you could make a difference.
who did you say?
Stanley Kubrick.
He didn't direct that.
He didn't direct Full Metal Jacket?
No,
Oh, really? I wonder who did then because they used his name.
they did.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick directed Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, for some reason, I thought it was Oliver Stone.
No, at Platoon. He did Platoon.
Oh, I knew that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I saw that movie at your old theater, the
Regency?
which used to be a man
Theater 6. Yep.
And when the people started, after the movie's over and everybody's leaving, normally you hear people talking. You might have heard a few whispers.
That's how it was with virtually every Stanley Kubrick movie. I saw his last movie there, the Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Title's out of my head right now. But I want to say True Lies, but it wasn't True Lies. Anyway,
Was that the NASCAR movie?
no.
Because that
Stanley
had both
Kubrick doing a Tom
Hey, you said Tom Cruise, Natalie. Oh, Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut. Thank you. And the same thing. Everybody walked out of the theater going, the hell? And I didn't like it the first time.
Mhm.
I watched it again. Freaking brilliant. It's just the way it is. All right. Anyway, we're out of here. And by the way, I was talking about, you're right. All movies are better on the big screen. I was talking about the big screen, like IMAX. Sometimes you don't need to see them. Full Metal Jacket would not be any more impressive on IMAX than it would at any other theater.
What's the latest on the Cinerama Dome?
It's still closed. I don't know.
But it's still standing.
It's still standing. They haven't torn it down yet, but
Yeah, but I thought a couple of heavyweights.
they were going to
Hollywood
buy it. Tarantino was interested in buying it, but they built the mall on attached to it now and stuff. So it may not, I don't know what's going on. I
that's a
really
shame.
don't know, but it's the greatest movie theater in history.
Yeah. Doesn't that have a historical status?
No, and it should.
Yeah, it
It
should.
really should. But anyway, it is what it is. All right, folks. We'll see you next week. Thanks
Hey.
for watching. Thanks for listening.
And as always, remember, popcorn.
If you say so. Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.